The Master of the Island Story. Chapter 8. The Plan. After the teams were divided, everyone began assessing their current situation. They gathered in a large open area in the middle of the island, showing signs of exhaustion and anxiety. They started evaluating the available resources: fuel, vehicles, food, and even the available manpower. The goal was clear: to devise a plan for survival and escape from this mysterious place. The group consisted of a strange mix of characters: Mike, the soldier who had always relied on his strength and intellect; Jonathan, the calm explorer with sharp eyes that caught the smallest details; along with Roger, the doctor, a mature man who bore the burden of keeping everyone alive; and their leader Manu, the man who seemed to harbor deep secrets about the island. In addition to them, there were the island's inhabitants, accustomed to its harsh life, and the newcomers who were still in shock from their presence here. Suggestions began to flow among the attendees. Mike stood first and threw out the idea of escaping using the planes on the island. "We have some planes here. If we fix them, we can use them to escape," Mike said confidently. But Roger quickly interrupted, saying, "That's impossible. The planes are completely broken, and none of us has the necessary expertise to fix them." Next, another suggestion came from one of the tribe members. "What about the ships? The island is surrounded by water, and ships would be the best option." The idea seemed reasonable and sparked hope in some, especially since there were ship and submarine mechanics among the group. Voices of approval grew louder, and everyone began planning to carry out this suggestion. However, suddenly Manu, the leader, cut through the enthusiasm with his mysterious words. "I'm sorry, my friends, but the ships will not leave the island. We tried sailing before. There is a barrier of the Master's magic surrounding the island. Any ship that tries to leave is prevented from progressing." A heavy silence fell among the group, as if the words had added weight to the air around them. Shock and doubt appeared on their faces. What is this barrier that stops them? And is what Manu says about magic true? They decided to verify the matter for themselves. A small boat was prepared for this dangerous task. Jonathan, due to his exploration experience, and Jones, a former submarine captain with deep knowledge of the oceans, along with 2 tribe members to help with rowing, were chosen. The boat quietly set off through the waters surrounding the island. The waves seemed calm, but they carried an eerie sensation, as though they hid secrets beneath their shiny surface. Each stroke of the oar seemed to open a door to an unknown and frightening realm. After hours of rowing, the boat approached a point that seemed ordinary to the naked eye. Suddenly, the boat struck something invisible, as if they had collided with a glass wall. Everyone was confused, and Jones began examining the area with trembling fingers. He felt a cold, unnaturally transparent wall surrounding the island. But the real horror appeared when they looked through the barrier. Behind this wall, there were strange creatures slowly swimming. They were just regular fish, but the shock and panic they were in made them appear as nightmarish creatures, like beings straight out of human nightmares. Their eyes were empty black, and their bodies were thin but carried hidden power. Jonathan felt a shiver run through his body, unsure whether it was due to the cold or the fear. What made it even more terrifying was the sudden realization that they were not on a floating island in the sea, but completely underwater. The transparent barrier was nothing but a wall separating them from the pressure and depths of the ocean. How could they survive in a place like this? They returned to the boat in shock. Their faces were pale, as though life had been drained from them. Upon their return, they conveyed the news to everyone, and the result was catastrophic. The hope that had lit their minds was shattered, and everyone sank into complete despair. It was hard to comprehend that they were trapped in a giant cage, with no obvious way to escape. Despite this, not everyone was giving up. Jones, with his strong personality and long experience, rose from the midst of despair. It might be impossible to leave by plane or ship, but there is another way. Mike mocked him, saying, "Are you talking about submarines? How are we going to pass the barrier surrounding the island?" Jones responded calmly and confidently, "Because I know the ocean well. There's a good chance that there are caves or tunnels underwater. The creature that created the barrier must be using them to transport its prey. The strong currents on the eastern side are a clear indication of that. All we need is an exploration submarine." A strange silence followed, but this time it wasn't a despairing silence. It was charged with hope and fear. Everyone wondered, could Jones be right? Could this plan be the way to survival, or the beginning of facing even deeper terror? End of chapter 8. Like and follow for more.